Okay, we need to have a serious discussion about Captain America Brave New World.
No! Too loud! Too reckless! Too ghetto!
The current state of Brave New World has been bleak, to say the least, and the hate has been truly unwarranted. Not to mention that most people seem to be hating on it for all the wrong reasons, contributing to the ever-increasing hate for political movies in general and characters with political histories, backgrounds, and storylines. However, the bigger picture we'll be discussing in today's video is the casual racism that's been thrown around regarding the distaste for Brave New World and why the hate for this film is completely unwarranted.
Do you really know how to play the game? Then tighten up!
Now, we can't talk about Captain America Brave New World without discussing the abundantly apparent problems surrounding the production of this film. It's more or less become common knowledge that Brave New World suffered from an array of filmmaking issues, from reshoots to false budget speculations and rewrites.
With all the delays,
the Marvel delays,
for
reshoots,
budgets,
ballooning budgets.
However, these claims have since been disproven.
But to clear things up right off the bat, there were not multiple rounds of reshoots, as it comes in at $180 million.
They're still spreading like wildfire and being treated as fact, which is contributing to the overall hatred for this film in general.
I see you brought your homeboys with you. The old culture cheat code.
While scrolling through the never-ending stream of overly critical reviews, it has become increasingly clear that the events of Endgame still hold strong, despite the fact that Endgame was released over 5 years ago at this point. Now, the main thing to take away from Avengers Endgame is that it established the Falcon as the new Captain America.
How does it feel? Like it's someone else's. It isn't.
Which was heavily criticized at the time and seen as controversial, leaving many fans to become hesitant and even confused by this decision.
I remember after Endgame going online and seeing exactly how many people just hated this idea, and you know what? It was pretty much everybody.
It doesn't even make sense. Bucky is way stronger than Sam, and I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong in this, but in the comics, doesn't Bucky Barnes take up the mantle of Captain America?
Despite the last two Captain America films completely centered around Bucky, leading to what we thought would be a redemption arc mirroring what happened in the comics, didn't. Instead, Steve Rogers handed his shield to Sam Wilson.
When Avengers Endgame was initially released, the criticism comprised mostly of reasonable skepticism regarding the decision, a common argument being that Sam does not have enough character development to play the part, especially when compared to his more popular superhero counterparts like Iron Man, Steve Rogers, or even Bucky Barnes.
Sam Wilson as the Falcon was just a side character throughout the first 3 phases of the MCU, and you know what? He wasn't fully developed.
they crowbarred Sam Wilson into the role without really knowing how he'd fit into it or where they were going to take him as a character.
The Falcon made his initial debut in the critically acclaimed film Captain America the Winter Soldier, and again briefly in Ant-Man and Captain America Civil War respectively, but was rarely given any major screen time to fully develop his character. Due to this, many fans pointed fingers to the other obvious contender for the Cap mantle, that being Bucky Barnes.
Let's just say it how it is. Bucky should have been the one to inherit the shield.
Bucky Barnes was the far more logical choice to take up the shield.
Steve Rogers and Bucky Barnes had a long history together. Their friendship went all the way back to World War II. Their bond was incredibly strong and very significant.
Yeah, Bucky definitely got put through the mill as the Winter Soldier, but the fact he was able to come out the other side and ultimately redeem himself proves his strength of character and his desire to atone for the past.
Bucky's journey from being brainwashed as the Winter Soldier to regaining his identity and seeking redemption was the main reason he should have taken on the mantle of Captain America.
Giving him the Captain America title would have resulted in a more interesting, morally complex character still wrestling with a dark past that naturally lends itself to the kind of gritty, grounded espionage story that you wanted to tell with this movie.
Bucky was the first one to take up the mantle of Captain America after Steve Rogers, so that was the expectation.
So, would this have been a better choice?
Maybe.
Avengers Endgame was released over 5 years ago, as I said previously, and Marvel still hasn't changed their perspective on Sam Wilson as the new Captain America. In fact, in that time, Marvel has completely shifted their prime focus, attempting to focus on a more diverse cast of characters coming from all different backgrounds, ethnicities, and cultures, which sounds great on paper and shouldn't automatically be a problem, but this is the internet after all, and of course, we can't have good things.
Sam Wilson became Captain America in the mid-2010s, being a part of the ill-fated, all-new, all-different Marvel.
But what they never want to mention is that those were the lowest selling Captain America comics in the 80-year run of Captain America.
To adapt books that sold in the thousands and were eventually canceled, including a lot that featured Sam Wilson's Captain America.
Nobody wanted this. Nobody.
So, the decision for inclusivity obviously faced a lot of scrutiny and backlash. Nonetheless, Marvel is still opting to keep Sam's storyline from Endgame, despite the widespread criticism against this decision.
Scorekeeper, deduct 1 life.
With the release of both The Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Captain America Brave New World, we have in fact gotten to know Sam Wilson more as a character, as well as all of his motives, flaws, and beliefs, which is exactly why Steve Rogers gave him the shield in the first place, because he knew where Sam's heart was at, all the way back in The Winter Soldier when Sam was just a counselor.
We all got the same problems. Guilt. Regret. You go to these people and say sorry because you think it'll make you feel better. But you gotta make them feel better. You gotta go to them and be of service.
And this is why Sam gets to be Captain America.
That you will stay who you are.
Not a perfect soldier, but a good
I think the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series really went deep into the consequences of Steve Rogers' actions towards giving Sam, a black man, a shield that represents America and American values during a time where people would never truly accept a black man as the face of America.
They will never let a black man be Captain America.
Which is evident by the average audience response to this character's transition into Captain America in the first place, validating this very claim.
A Captain America sequel without Captain America.
The real Captain America replacement shows up.
Captain America, the white man.
With all that being said, there's an important distinction to make between actors and the characters they portray.
For me, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term, America should be one of those representations.
Says he doesn't think that America should be one of the representations of the character.
See, when you base your premise on excluding America from the character's identity, even though he's called Captain America, and then go on to list all of his virtues like keeping his word and doing the right thing, you're implicitly suggesting that those very traits no longer represent what America is as a country. And well, that's not exactly a popular sentiment.
It sounded an awful lot like he was saying that Captain America shouldn't be linked with America itself.
The fact that some people are treating this like an insult is just sad. You can tell who's not an actual Captain America fan. Some people are over-exaggerating and acting like Mackie just dissed all of America, when that's far from the truth. Sure, at first Captain America was a hero exclusive to America, but as time passes, he becomes so much more than that. Captain America's more than a symbol now, he's an ideal. He represents what America should be, not what it is, and he also inspires hope and showcases how we should strive to be better and always fight for what's right. Steve Rogers is like this too. Throughout his entire trilogy, he always defies the US government and does the right thing. Steve literally dropped the Captain America name in Infinity War and became Nomad because he lost faith in the US and its government. Cap hasn't been exclusive to America in decades, he just hates bullies and values freedom and integrity. This is why Steve Rogers chose Sam Wilson to take on the mantle. It's not about the serum, it's about the characteristics. Not a perfect soldier, but a good man. You remember that quote? And Sam has the characteristics to become Captain America. He has honor, dignity, integrity, and he's a man of his word.
It's become increasingly disheartening to see actors like Anthony Mackie receive constant hate for attempting to uphold a character he wasn't even aware of playing prior to Endgame.
Because we get the pages we're shooting that day, and nothing else about the movie. So, we'll see.
And I read the scene and I'm like, this can't be real. He goes, that's the scene. That's what we're shooting this week. You're getting a shield. Whoa. So we literally jumped up and down and hugged each other.
The idea of Cap handing over the shield to Sam is something that everyone, thought about, including myself. But there's a lot of trepidation because you don't want Cap to go away.
What's worse is that when he speaks out on how he plans on portraying this particular rendition of the character, the media's immediate response is to exploit and label these ideas as woke or progressive simply because of the racial background of the person saying it.
It's apparent that Anthony Mackie sees himself as a black man first and an American second.
Look at Anthony Mackie's antics in real life. The dude is a nut job who needs to keep his mouth shut.
The mere fact that this topic has been debated for this long says something. Usually when a character gets recasted or replaced, it takes a few months, but eventually people accept the change and move on. But with a character like Sam Wilson taking on a mantle as big as the Captain America one, you can be sure that people will oppose against it, which literally proves the point of the comics Sam Wilson's character is based on. The themes remain more relevant than ever, and that's just sad to see.
You think things are different? You think times are different?
People can be as loud as they want, but that doesn't make them right. It doesn't even mean they know what they're talking about or what they're preaching. It just shows that they have nothing better to do with their time than to criticize completely fictional characters, just because they were taught to hate those who have different viewpoints than they do. As the comic stated, I doubt the country is ready for a black Captain America. And that was published almost 40 years ago. I guess the world still isn't ready, and maybe it never will be. Something I hate even more than the overly used argument of
he wasn't fully developed
is the argument of why should we care about Sam's experience with systematic racism? Why does everything always have to be political?
You don't have to slap me in the face with his race or his experiences or his systemic systems or whatever. Just show me a dude. Tell me his story.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
You can talk about what they did to my partner's face.
Holy God, what are you showing me? His head. Come on! Open your eyes!
Every single movie you've ever liked, every song you've ever listened to, and every piece of art you've ever admired are all inherently political in one form or another. What is the point of art without the messaging? Everyone is taught from a young age to analyze text, but if the intent of art was to simply entertain and contain nothing of substance or value, there wouldn't be a deeper meaning or message to convey. Then what would be left to analyze? If there's nothing left to analyze, then how is that any different from the AI content that's been heavily scrutinized for years for containing nothing of true value or substance? not every piece of art is made for everyone. Simple as that.
Everyone wants to have a strong opinion about things. I love movies to escape. I get people who go, oh, God, this is a load of rubbish. Oh, the MCU, you've lost the plot. But will you entertain?
With a character as politically complex as Sam Wilson, he's meant to shed a light on different viewpoints and perspectives that many people might not fully understand, and that's okay. You don't need to understand it.
You're not Steve Rogers. You're right. I'm not.
Sam Wilson is a dude who went out for a jog, ran into his hero, became partners with his hero, saved the world, and became Captain America. Like, that is the American dream.
As for those who do understand, then they can relate and resonate with the characters and their struggles.
Every time I pick this thing up, I know there are millions of people out there who are going to hate me for it. Even now, here, I feel it. The stares, the judgment. And there's nothing I can do to change it. Yet I'm still here. No super serum, no blonde hair or blue eyes. The only power I have is that I believe we can do better.
Don't get it twisted. It's just a movie. It ain't that big a deal.